So the first book that I chose for the annotated bibliography is The Birch Bark House, and this is written by Louise Erdrich. And the one reason I chose this book is we, at our school that I work at, we read this book as part of our curriculum for fourth graders, and it's just kind of been one of my favorite stories. This is a medal award-winning book as well. It's the 2000 Willa Award, which is Women Writing the West, and also the National Cowboy Hall of Fame Western Heritage Award winner as well. This story, it's for my theme. There was a couple that I chose for this story. I did multicultural, sorry, and family, and also trial and tributes. There's a lot of trial and tributes in this story. This story is about an 8-year-old American Indian girl. Her name is Amakayas, and she lives with her family on an island they call the Island of the Golden-Breasted Woodpecker. The story takes place over 4 seasons and begins when Omakayas is found by herself on her island. She's found by this tribe. Her family, so she's found, and this new family becomes ill with the smallpox, and Omakayas' brother dies, so it's a very sad part of this story. And then the story continues with the life of Omakayas and her family moving from one area to the next, working together just basically to survive. So this is still incorporated in our 4th grade curriculum this year, so I'm really excited about that. The next story that I chose was Bud Not Buddy, and for this theme I did family and hope, also adventure. This is a super fun book. The author is Christopher Paul Curtis, and this story is about a boy. He's 10 years old. His name is Bud Caldwell. And he basically has grown up in 3 separate foster homes after the death of his mother. He is really struggling to fit in and to be happy, so he has this picture of what he believes to be his father. So he decides that he is going to venture off to find his father. This is a time during the Great Depression, though. So it's really tough out there for Bud. However, he comes across some friends that are really going to help him out along his way. So although in the end it turns out that his father, that picture was his father, but he they don't have like a really great relationship, but Bud does settle down into a home with his family. With his great grandparents, they're part of like a jazz band, and so he definitely builds that strong relationship with his grandfather. So it's a really fun story. The next story that I chose was The Corn Grows Ripe, and this story. This is also an award-winning story. I'm sorry if I didn't include the Bud Not Buddy, that was the Newbery Honor. The Corn Grows Ripe is also a Newbery Honor story. This story is the author's Dorothy Rhodes, and this is about a little boy. His father gets injured, and he kind of has to take over the role of his father. So it's Tigra. So Tigra's father is badly injured in an accident. So his father's unable to tend to any of the crops, provide for his family, and that's how this family survives. So he's 12 years old. He's a Maya boy. He's in the Yucatan, and he must plant the harvest and the crops for his family, or his family's going to starve. He has no idea how to do this. He has worked with his father working the crops before. However, this will be the first time that he has to really do that on his own. So he has definitely faced what he thought things that he couldn't accomplish on his own, and he overcame with determination. So this is definitely a really good story to incorporate into your curriculum as well. The next story that I chose was Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. This story's theme I chose for happiness and also cultural identity. Again, it is also a Newbery Honor Award book, and this author is Grace Lin. So this story is about a little girl named Minli, and she lives with her family. Their family is poor in a village at the base of what they call the Fruitless Mountain. And her father like tells her all these really fun stories and really neat stories, interesting stories to the man on the moon. And so what she does, this encourages her, Minley, to go out and explore and set out to find the man on the moon. Her family is very poor as well in this story, and she really wants to seek hope for her, and wealth for her family as well. So you'll see along the way, Minley fights many battles, including an evil green tiger, and she also meets these magical friends that help her along in her quest as well. In the end, Minley does find a dragon pearl that brings wealth not only to her family, but to her village as well. And the next story that I also chose is Frog and Toad Together. Kids love these stories, and they're like kind of like mini chapter books, and they're easy to read, so they feel like they're reading something really big. For the theme for Frog and Toad is friendship. All the stories that Frog and Toad are into, they're about friendship and togetherness and how they help each other out. All of the chapters are different. Though the author is Arnold Lobel, and these are like fantasy books. This is also a Newbery Award honor story, and basically it's just set up, all the stories, the Frog and Toad stories are set up into 5 chapters, and Frog and Toad are best friends. They help each other out. In this one, Frog gives Toad seeds to grow a garden. Frog helps Toad eat the yummy cookies, of course, that they bake together. They're brave together, and Frog helps Toad when he loses his list of to-dos. So, like I said, these are easy readers, and the kids really enjoy reading these stories. And then I chose King Bidgood's in the Bathtub, and this is just a really silly story. The theme that I chose for this is problems and solutions, and the author is Audrey Wood. And this is just a really funny story that really follows the same pattern. So this is a really good book to incorporate, especially for our ELL students. And basically for King Biddu, they can't get him out of the bathtub. So it's about a king who won't come out of the bathtub. No matter all of these problems that are happening in his kingdom, he won't get out of the bathtub. So the knight, the queen, the duke, the page, and the court try to get him out of the bathtub, but the king just absolutely refuses to get out of the bathtub. But finally, the page goes down to the tub, unplugs it, and now the king has no choice but to get out of the bathtub. So follows a pattern. Love this story. Very funny. My last book that I chose to include, I was really surprised that it had it does have an honor. It's not the Newbery, but it's the Caldecott, and these stories are so fun. The kids love these stories. So for the theme, or the author is David Shannon. He writes all the No David books. I did behavior, but also love and family. So with this story, you'll find it's the words are very short, and this is the one that I wanted to read. It's going to be really quick, but it's super fun. It's called No David, and basically David just gets into a lot of trouble, and at the end of the book, his mom doesn't care, if she cares that he gets in trouble, but she just loves him so much, and you'll see at the end it's really fun. So it's called No David by David Shannon. David's mom always said, "No, David. No, David. No, David, no." And you can see he got into some dirt mischief outside, tracking it through the house. No, no, no. Overfilling the bathtub. I'm sure your parents, we've seen that a few times. Come back here, David. Running down the street with no clothes. David, be quiet. Don't play with your food. Oh, we see this a lot, especially in the cafeteria at school. That's enough, David. So you can see these pictures are so colorful. They're short, they're simple, but they're really a lot of fun. Go to your room. Settle down. Stop that this instant. Still getting in trouble. Put your toys away. He's very adventurous and likes to have fun. Not in the house, David. I said no, David. And you can see he's in trouble. He's in the corner. Davy, come here. Yes, David, I love you. So in the end, it doesn't matter what David did. His mommy still loves him. So that was the read aloud that I wanted to do. And those are the David Shannon books. No, David, very, very cute books to have in your library. Thank you.